All right, this is the last pay per view of the year. UFC 310, flyweight championship of the world main event. Pantoja and UFC newcomer Kai Asakura. Co-main event, I think, should be for an interim. Ian Garry and Shavkat Rakhmonov, two undefeated welterweights in the top five of the world. It's a low key card, really under the radar. A lot of good fights. A good way to end the year in terms of a pay per view. I actually think it's going to be better than out of the last like five pay per views. I would only say I think it'd be better than everything except maybe 308. 308 I think would be the only card I would say in the last five that was like could be better than this. I think 310 is going to be really good. Without further ado, I'm Tony Trail. That's Mike. That's Alex. We're going to get this shit right. This UFC 310.
The first fight's Kennedy Nzechukwu versus, I almost just said Yuri Prohaska. He kind of looks like him. Łukasz Brzeski. So, yeah, a complete bum. I think Kennedy's actually pretty good at heavyweight. I could see him being ranked even at heavyweight. Like, he low-key beat the fucking shit out of Chris Barnett. I know a lot of that is Chris Barnett being, like, morbidly obese, but, yeah, I think Kennedy should probably beat Łukasz Brzeski pretty easily. He got KO'd in the first round by Parkin. I think Kennedy's probably going to do the same thing. I think Kennedy's pretty good skill-wise, and now that he's at heavyweight, I think he'll be able to beat these fat guys. So, yeah, I'm going to go first-round KO. Hurts him with something on the feet and goes into the clinch, finishes him. Maybe he gets a guillotine and finishes him that way, but first-round finish for Kennedy for sure.
I'm gonna agree with Alex. Don't really know too much about the opponent that he's fighting, but his record doesn't look the best, and Kennedy did look really, really good in his last fight in heavyweight. Granted, it was Chris Barnett, like Alex said, but I'm gonna just stick to the role here that Nzechukwu at heavyweight's a different breed. I'm gonna go with the first round knockout, like Alex did.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a clean sweep. I think we're all in agreement. Kennedy Nzechukwu gets the win here. Brzeski, he's like a heavyweight. Like, if this is, I think it's a 205. Oh no, it is a heavyweight. Wow. He's considered like one of the lighter heavyweights. He's not bad on the feet, but I think there's upside in the grappling with Kennedy. I think the clinch could be big for Kennedy in terms of knees and elbows. At range, I think Kennedy has the reach advantage. I could be wrong, but I think he does. So I see like him having an advantage everywhere the fight goes, whether it be at range, in the pocket, in the clinch, and the grappling. I think I'm going to go with a second round KO. Just because I think Brzeski's not terrible on the feet. I think he'll survive the first round and then get finished in the second with ground and pound. I think Kennedy will mix in grappling in the second round and TKO him on the ground.
Next fight is Clay Guida versus Charles de Bronx. Chase Hooper. Chase Hooper is who we're actually talking about. He's really kind of matured in front of our eyes. He's kind of like you remember how like Mickey Gall like started off really young in the UFC and became absolute dog shit. It's kind of like the opposite of that. Chase Hooper's been really good, and he like beat the shit out of some dude on the feet, like his first fight up the lightweight, Nick Fiore, I think, and that was impressive. Even though it was against low quality competition, to do that, like outbox a New England cartel guy, was pretty impressive. And he dropped Slava and beat the absolute dog shit out of him. Like the strikes were like something crazy, like 4 to 100, or I don't know what it was exactly, but it was a big fucking strike differential. And I think Clay Guida at this point, he's old. Like he's old. He's really, 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 really old. And I think if this fight's on the feet, he loses too. I think Chase Hooper's looked really good in the hands and the kicks. Like this time he spent with Wonder Boy looked like it paid off. And if this fight, in which it probably will take place in the grappling, they've already had a grappling match against each other, and Chase Hooper won. So I don't really see how anybody could even pick Clay Guida here. He's old. He's lost a grappling fight to this guy before. They're both grapplers. He's too old to strike with him. Chase Hooper first round. I think it'll probably be like I'm feeling clubbing, like a overhand and then into guillotine or something. But First round submission I got for sure. Clay Guida getting subbed.
Another agreements here. I think Chase Hooper is just gonna destroy Clay Guida. Clay Guida's getting older. Hasn't really looked. I mean, he's still like in some of these fights, but it's just he's older, and it's like you could tell like the punishment will get worse once he starts competing against like these type of people. And Chase Hooper's been looking really, really good. He beat Slava. I picked Slava to beat him. That looked like a horrible pick in hindsight. But I'm gonna pick Chase Hooper.
It's gonna be back-to-back sweeps to start the card. I definitely see the comparison that you were making. This is America's Charles the Bronx and Chase Hooper. Started off his career at featherweight, if I'm not mistaken. Am I wrong? He did start off at featherweight, had a rough go of it, went up to lightweight, has developed more into the weight class. He's on a good little streak. He outstruck a New England Cartel guy. New England Cartel, isn't the best gym in the world, but the trend that I would imagine from that gym would be fundamental boxing at the very least, with their two guys being Cater and Font. But I like, Chase Hooper, the growth he's had at 155. He dominated Slava Claus. I picked him by submission, but he impressed me in that fight. He did better than I thought he was going to do. And he was able to drop Slava Claus on the feet. People forget that. He dropped Slava Claus on the feet. And then he was able to get the grappling going. So, Clay Guida, he actually made it a competitive fight. In I don't know if it was his last fight, but against Joaquin Silva, he gave a good fight compared to what people thought. And in some people's eyes, maybe even won the fight. He's got good cardio. He's got good wrestling. But I just think Chase Hooper's too big, young. He's just the better fighter right now at this point in his career. So I'm thinking, like a second round submission. I'll just give a round of respect to Clay Guida off the cardio. But I could definitely see it happening in the first as well. Chase Hooper is dangerous.
I thought he won by points in the grappling fight. Turns out it was a calf slicer. And I've seen like a routine recently of leg submissions happening on Guida. I think like a heel hook or something like that, or a knee bar.
Hooper got a calf slicer. Charles Oliveira got a calf slicer in the UFC. Imagine if he gets a calf slicer on Clay Guida. That'd be crazy.
Yeah. Michael Chiesa, Max Griffin. Max Griffin, I think's got a chance. He's got a lot of power in his hands, but I think, two older fighters, I trust the bigger, stronger guy, and Chiesa being a grappler, I think favors him. I think if he can just get this fight down, he can minute win and win rounds based on that. And I do think like he's probably the better fighter overall. I think Max Griffin really just has to knock him out, which I do think he can do. But I think Chiesa can survive and still out-grapple him if that happens. I think I'm going to go Chiesa by decision. Just being the bigger guy, better grappler, and minute winning. Just holding him down at half guard, full mount, and I don't think there will be a submission. I think there's a chance there is, but I don't think Griffin's that cooked yet. It's just going to be kind of a boring, veteran welterweight fight of Chiesa winning by decision by holding him down, I think. If Magny can hold you against the fence for 3 rounds, I think Chiesa can do it. So, yeah. I think he's a better takedown guy than Magny. So I think he'll be able to actually get takedowns on him. So we'll see. But, yeah, Chiesa.
I think this is going to be our first disagreement here. I think I'm going to go with Max Griffin. Michael Chiesa isn't an active fighter. He hasn't fought. I know he fought in the Kevin Holland fight, but let's be honest, he rarely fights anymore. He's just thinking that he's going to be a Stephen A. Smith on the desk and give out these, oh, look, I used to fight. Look, I fought. I fought. I'm still a fighter, right, guys? I'm still fighting, guys. I'm still fighting. And then he just gets Darce choked and makes Kevin Holland actually look like a top 5 contender. Stimming. I'm gonna go with Max Griffin by KO. I think Max Griffin's more active, and he's not looking horrible in these fights that he's lost. Go with Max Griffin by KO though. TKO, second round, first maybe.
Tough fight. To pick him, if I'm not mistaken. This is like your classic, grappler versus striker, I think. I I don't really know too much that like Max Griffin offensively grapples really whatsoever, but I could be wrong. I would just think that his game is the striking. I think I would go Chiesa just because I think the grappling upside's there. He could stall, do as Alex said, just kind of win minutes and do his thing. I don't really buy too much into Max Griffin. I mean, if he knocks him out, he knocks him out, and Chiesa can get hit on the feet. But I think Kevin Holland was just bigger than him. Max Griffin, I don't think is that much bigger than Chiesa. So I'm gonna go Chiesa by decision. To just hug him and just win off that.
Yeah, Cody Durden versus Joshua Van. It's a pretty close fight. I think Joshua Van is probably going to win. I think he's going to be able to just outland and outdamage Cody Durden if it does go the distance. Cody Durden's striking is pretty good, I have to be honest. But I think we see this trend with grapplers. When they improve their striking, they like to show it off. And that got him KO'd once against Bruno Silva, and I could see it being a similar fact here against Joshua Van, where he doesn't try to grapple as much as he used to, due to him wanting to strike more. And I think that's where Joshua Van has more time to make his reads and get a KO later in the fight. I think Joshua Van is, skill-wise, one of the better flyweights, especially being how young he is. He's got time to improve. He is very small. I think against Cody Durden, he's not really an imposing figure. He's mostly going to be trying to grapple you. He's kind of like a flyweight Colby. But the fact that he's going to try to strike more gives Van more opportunities. And with Durden not really being too much of a threat outside of some submission ability on the ground, I think Van's going to be able to get his reads, get into the later rounds, and probably get a body shot TKO in like the third round, or set up a body shot, like hurt him with it, and then finish him with combos up top. So yeah, I'm gonna go Joshua Van. I'm gonna go late rounds TKO. Third round, I'm gonna say TKO after a pretty good fight.
I'm gonna agree with Alex on here. I love Joshua Van. I tend to favor like the boxing heavy, like slow starter type of fighters, like Piotr Jan and stuff like that. Joshua Van's very entertaining for me. I will say this: if you're a casual watching the video here, you're gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna pick Joshua Van because everybody's picking him. You're gonna have that feeling. Oh shit, he lost that first round badly. He's gonna lose badly, right? I think he's gonna have a horrible first round. I will say he will get taken down. He will get taken down. But once he starts making that read in round 2, he's gonna start whipping that body shots. Cody Durden gets reckless on that body. He does not have a good poker face when he gets hit to the body from time to time. Like Alex said, he is like a Colby, but his poker face is horrible. Joshua Van TKO round 2.
I think I'm gonna go Joshua Van. He has 83% career takedown defense according to UFC.com, at least in the UFC. I think he's a good representative of Myanmar. I'm very big on the UFC opening opportunities to new countries. I always want to see new fighters from new countries, develop and get better. I just like the global aspect of the UFC. Cody Durden's good. Good cardio, good wrestling. He's just a solid vet. He's really only lost to really good fighters, whether it be from power or he got out-grappled. Lost to Bruno Silva. He lost to Muhammad Makaya. I think Joshua Van's a superior striker. Cody Durden has shown a willingness to scrap and be on the feet. Joshua Van, third round TKO. I think the first 2 rounds will be competitive and it'll be a high pace, but Van will be able to stuff a majority of the takedowns and eventually find his rhythm with the boxing and probably hurt him to the body and then mix up headshots and get the TKO in the third.
Is Chris Weidman versus Eryk Anders. I think there's a chance Eryk Anders knocks out Weidman. I think there's always that chance when Weidman fights, but I think this is a fight where Chris Weidman wins. I think his grappling is significantly better than anything Anders has to offer at all. I think Anders has the opportunity, like I said, to knock out Weidman, but Weidman I think is the better fighter. He's added eye pokes to his game recently, and that's a dangerous weapon. I think, in general, though, if I'm not fucking joking, Weidman's actually, I think, gotten his striking a little bit better, training with Wonderboy and all them. So I think if he can just avoid, Eryk Anders struggling with Jamie Pickett, bro. Come on. Like I think Weidman's better than that, even in his old age, post leg injury. Weidman he still has that grappling threat, and look, I know he eye poked Bruno Silva a ton, but striking wise, he looked good in that fight. I accused him of juicing. I'm still going to accuse him of juicing if he wins this one, but yeah, I think Weidman wins. I'm gonna go decision. If he like fucking TKOs fucking Anders on the feet in the first round, I'm 100% accusing him of hard drugs. But I'm going to go decision.
Eryk Anders is going to get wrestle fucked by Weidman by decision. And I think he's just going to... I think Weidman's going to win.
Tough fight to pick him. Eryk Anders has a lot of losses. Chris Weidman's old. Durability is a question. Former champ. Good wrestling. He's coming off a win. Anders used to play football at Alabama. Like, I don't know what to make of this fight, you know. And if it was in New York, I'd be on Weidman, but I don't know. Anders, I don't really think too highly of him either, but I would just venture to say he's the more durable fighter and probably the more powerful fighter. I would assume. If Weidman doesn't wrestle, that's really dumb. So I guess I have to go Weidman to wrestle, but I don't know. Anders is younger, more durable, more powerful, and if he can't get those takedowns, he could be fucked. So I'm gonna be different. I'm gonna go Eryk Anders. If this was in New York, I'd be on Weidman. I'm just gonna go with Eryk Anders for no reason. I'm just gonna be different. Roll Tide, Alabama. Alabama Roll Tide, former champ from Alabama is gonna beat a former champ in the UFC. Football beats fucking MMA. We're about to see it. We're gonna fucking see Eryk Anders.
He needs to win by knockout. He needs to win by knockout.
If it was in New York, I'd be on Weidman, but just because it's not, I'm fucking. I'm gonna go Anders.
No. By that logic, in New York, you were saying the judges would be swayed. That means it would be a decision. There ain't no decision happening here.
You think a finish is happening?
And if it is, Weidman wins.
From the grappling, yeah. But what if Eryk Anders is able to just, I don't know, fucking outpoint him for 3 rounds?
He won't be able to. He needs to win by knockout, or he needs to drop him in like 2 out of 3 rounds.
Okay. Yeah, I can buy that. Yeah.
I mean...
No, I feel that. I'll go Eryk Anders. Yeah, by knockout, I guess. Yeah, I'll go with 2nd round knockout.
Yeah, you gotta go Eryk Anders by knockout, I feel like. Yeah. Especially Weidman.
He does, yeah. He has a tendency of losing decisions. Yeah, he does.
Randy Brown versus Bryan battle. This is actually a close fight. I could see Randy Brown sticking on the outside and using his footwork and all that to beat Bryan Battle, but I think Bryan Battle is on an upswing in his career. I think moving to welterweight was a good move. Super Saiyan Bryan Battle is a different fighter. Him with the blonde hair, he's coming different. I think he had a really good game plan against Kevin Jousset. I think a similar game plan could probably work here against Randy Brown. I think Randy Brown's a better fighter than Jousset, but they're both rangy strikers. I think Randy Brown has more offer in the grappling, and the clinch and all that type of stuff. But I don't think he's got a good chin. I think Bryan Battle's going to get to him at some point during this fight. I think he can wear him down. I think he can use the clinch. I think just in a striking exchange fight, I think he can just hang long enough, even if he's losing, to just wear down Randy Brown and just out-scrap him until he breaks, and then Bryan Battle's going to TKO him on the fence. I really think Brown's got good skills, but I don't trust his chin at all. I'm going to be honest. I think if Bryan Battle connects clean, that's just going to be it. So I'm going to go Bryan Battle. I think he'll finish him kind of how JDM finished him. I think he'll probably fucking tee off against him on the fence and TKO him like that, or he'll drop him and sub him. I think I'm going to go club and sub, beating him up against the fence. Randy Brown shoots a panic takedown. He gets a ninja choke on him. 2nd round submission by Bryan Battle.
I'm going to go with Bryan Battle. I've been on the Bryan Battle train for a minute. Dude's a beast. Just haven't really been impressed by the Randy Brown performances in his win streak. He went to a close decision with Zaleski dos Santos. He went to a decision with Wellington Turdman. Wellington Turdman's horrible. That's why we call him Smellington Turdman over here.
Thanks.
He went to a close decision with Trinaldo. Most of his fights are just close decisions. I got Bryan Battle knocking him out 1st round, maybe 3rd. The Butcher ain't gonna lose to no Jamaican dude.
Yeah, this is going to be my first official underdog pick of the card. Bryan Battle's on a run right now at welterweight, and it definitely was the right move from moving down to middleweight to welterweight. At middleweight, he just kind of felt like run-of-the-mill. At welterweight, he's got good frame, good size, good reach. He has accumulated some good wins. I bet him in the Gabe Green fight. That was like a crazy knockout he got like in the first round. He was doing good against Angelusa, and Angelusa, in a lot of people's eyes, took the coward's way out, per se. According to them, of course, based off of the way that fight ended. He did really good against Kevin Jousset, who trains in City Kickboxing, who has a decent striking background as well as a judo background. But I think Randy Brown has good experience in the UFC with a 13-5 record. His durability has always been a concern for me, but when I look at his losses, I see Bilal Muhammad decision. I see Jack Della Maddalena. I see Vicente Luque, at least in his prime, knockout. The one fight that draws me an area of concern is that he got hammer-fisted by Nico Price. Bryan Battle can be better than Nico Price, but is he as good as a prime Vicente Luque? Is he as good as Jack Della Maddalena? Is he as good as Bilal Muhammad? Well, we're going to find out. I just think Randy Brown's footwork, his experience, his reach, his straight punches, his range management, he'll definitely have to be on the back foot for a majority of the fight, but I like Randy Brown. And when I look at both of these fighters, I could see just on some... Just the numbers game of it. I could see Bryan Battle being an 11-3 fighter and Randy Brown being a 20-win fighter, being 20-5. I could see it. I think Randy Brown's in the prime of his career. I think Bryan Battle made the right move, and he's doing very well. But this will be another learning lesson for him in his somewhat young career. So I'm going to go Randy Brown by decision. I think he will display good footwork, point fighting, use the grappling when he has to, take the body triangle, get your minutes, work, try to get his neck, take advantage of the reach and the range. So I'm going to go with a Randy Brown decision. Rude boy with my underdog pick.
Movsar Evloev versus Aljamain Sterling. I've actually kind of gone back and forth on this fight recently. Originally, this fight was announced, I was going to pick Aljamain Sterling. I do think he's the better grappler. I think other grapplers that are better than Movsar have already lost to him. I've seen him almost get submitted countless times. I think Aljamain could do well, but I think Evloev's so physical. I could see him getting top position, not letting Aljamain get dominant position like he used to in bantamweight. Like, I don't think he's going to be able to back take Evloev like that. That's kind of his move. If he can't do that, I think he might be lost. I do think he's the cleaner striker on the feet, though. But I think Evloev just being stronger, more powerful. He's dealt with big featherweights before, whereas Aljamain's kind of only fought here once. Evloev's boring, but I think he's kind of like he's strong. He's good enough in the grappling, I think, to avoid these submissions, or at least kind of almost get caught in them and not get submitted by them.
I don't like Evloev. I think he's overrated. I really don't find anything that he is championship caliber. Maybe it might bite me in the ass one day. Who knows? But Evloev is horrible. But I think he's going to win this fight. I know it sounds stupid. I know it does. That I don't like him, and I'm still going to pick him, but I think it's going to be one of those close fights that you see out of Evloev where he's like finally meets his match in the grappling, but he still finds a way to win. You know what I mean? Like a Diego Lopez, like somebody around that range where he's like, oh my gosh, Evloev's in a guillotine. Oh my gosh, Evloev's in this, Evloev's in that, but he's getting out of it and he's just winning via control time because he's a pussy and he doesn't even know how to use jiu-jitsu right or can't even properly wrestle. His striking is horrible too, but I think this fight will just be another close decision win for Movsar Evloev. I got Movsar, unfortunately.
this fight should be on the main card. In my opinion, this is the bantamweight GOAT and Aljamain Sterling, moving up to 145, coming off a good win against Calvin Kattar, who thinks a decent boxer, a good MMA fighter, and undefeated Movsar Evloev, who I do think is a top 5 featherweight in the world. I like his resume. He has some close decisions, and he has decisions he doesn't have necessarily a high finish rate whatsoever. But to be 18-0 and to win all fights by decision, I do find that somewhat impressive. Because you are proving 18 times over that you are the better fighter throughout the duration of 15 minutes. To consistently do that at a high level, you have to be good. So I do think he is top 5 in the world, especially when I look at names like Dan Ige, Arnold Allen, Diego Lopez. So, regardless of what he does outside of the octagon, the fact of the matter is Movsar Evloev is a top 5 featherweight in the world currently. That being said, I think Aljamain Sterling has good grappling. I think he's a bantamweight GOAT. I think his resume speaks for itself. He's not bad on the feet. He's creative. He's got decent reach. It's about 71 reach. Evloev's got like 71 too. I just don't think Aljamain Sterling is going to have the same luxury he had at 135, where he was able to take advantage of the grappling and his size. I don't think he'll have that consistent minute winning that he usually would have at 135. I think Evloev is going to neutralize the grappling and keep it on the feet. And I think I'm going to go with an Evloev decision, but it wouldn't surprise me if he gets his first finish here against Aljamain Sterling. I could see a TKO occurring where Evloev is just stronger, better boxer, and able to find Aljo's chin. I'm going to go decision, but it would not shock me if Evloev got a late finish. So I'm going to go Movsar Evloev. You know, fuck it. I'm going to reach. 3rd round TKO Movsar Evloev. I think he's going to get his first finish against the bantamweight GOAT. I think he's going to be able to neutralize the grappling, get away from the jiu-jitsu and the submission threat of Aljamain Sterling, keep it on the feet.
America, this is how horrible this society is getting. We have this man glazing a pedophile over here. Oh my gosh.
I think he can get his first finish.
I just... Man's glazing a pedophile.
Evloev could beat up Aljamain.
Real fast.
He's top 5 featherweight in the world. I think he is.
This is horrible. He's not.
Lopez, Allen, Ige, great wins. Great wins. 3rd round TKO, Movsar Evloev.
With what?
Huh?
With what?
His 16-year-old wife.
His hands. With his hands. And he's going to use the clinch, knees, and elbows. 3rd round TKO.
We shall see.
With some ground and pound.
Trump.
And he's in the ground and pound action. He'll hurt him on the feet, but he'll finish it off with ground and pound TKO.
Tony, your logic is just wants you to get locked up right now. Move on.
Top 5
Move
featherweight.
on.
What's the problem?
Mom, move on. Oh no, he's not. He's horrible.
He literally is.
On. Move on.
Name 5
He's
featherweights
ass.
better.
He's ass.
Name
You're
5
just
featherweights
glazing
better.
him because he's from Florida.
He can't name 5 featherweights better than Movsar. Go.
Ilya Taporia,
You can't-
Ilya Taporia, fucking
Sterling.
fucking
Volkanovski.
Volkanovski.
3. Okay, you got 3. Name 2 more.
Arnold Allen.
No,
I
he's
will
not.
still
He beat
pick
Arnold
Arnold
Allen. How
Allen
can you
over
say that?
motherfucker.
He beat Arnold Allen. You cannot say that.
He beat him because he
can't
was
say
on
that.
his hands and knees. If
You can't say that.
put him against him
You're
right
wrong.
now with that
You're
rule,
wrong.
if he does that, he's getting
You're
knocked
wrong.
the fuck out.
You're wrong. You got
Rematch.
screwed. You got 3, not 5. I need 5.
Max Holloway.
I already said that. Volk, Holloway, Ilya. Go. You got 2 more. Name 5 featherweights better than Movsar Evloev.
I just named him.
You named 3. I need 2 more.
Gene Silva.
No. I like Gene
Yeah,
Silva. I
he's
like him.
100% better than
I
him.
like Gene Silva.
He's
No.
100.
He's not better than Movsar right now, no.
I
What's his
would
best
pick
win? Drew
him
Dober at
over
155.
Movsar.
That doesn't have anything to do with 145. Nothing.
But you told me to name him.
He beat
I
Jordan.
just named him.
That's not better. No, he's not better than him. I like Gene Silva, but
Who
he's
has
not.
he beaten? Who has he beaten?
Who?
Who has Movsar Evloev beaten that's dominant?
Arnold Allen, Dan Ige, Diego Lopez.
Dominant.
He beat
Dominant.
him. I don't know. All I
Did
care
not
about
beat
who you beat.
dominant.
Who did you beat?
He lost-
So no,
he barely
you cannot use
won
Gene
any
Silva. You
division.
can't use Gene Silva. Go.
You
Pick someone
just
else.
support the pedophile for
Pick
nothing.
someone else. I like Gene Silva. You pick someone else.
Pick someone
not
else.
Gonna work. That's not gonna work. Who's better than Movsar Evloev?
I'd pick Laurent Murphy over Evloev right now.
I like Laurent. He got the Edson Barboza win. He had a close fight with Gabriel Santos.
He has more finishes than this nigga does.
And he beat Joshua
He has more finishes than him in the
Finishes
UFC.
does not make you a better fighter.
But he has the better resume.
I like finish.
He
No, he doesn't. Arnold Allen, Dan Ige, and fucking Diego
He has
Lopez
more
smokes
finishes
that
than he
resume.
has-
What are you
and he-
talking about? That is not
What
a
are
better
you talking
resume. What are you
about?
talking about? Joshua Culibao, Edson Barboza, and fucking Gabriel Santos does not beat Diego Lopez, Dan Ige, Arnold Allen. No.
Clip your fingernails, first of all. You don't need to put them all up the fucking screen.
Give me a real name. Like, nah, Laurent Murphy. I like him. No. Laurent Murphy and Gene Silva. No. No.
Look, Evloev deserves his number 5 spot, right,
top
in the
five.
rankings.
He's literal top 5.
He's won his fights to get there, right? He technically beat Allen, so yes, he's in the top 5. I agree with that.
He hurt Allen.
But I understand that, but Allen also hurt him under this new rule set. That's a legal
Yeah,
strike.
the new rule, yeah. That didn't
But
play.
also, you can say, and I agree with that Gene Silva's better,
I like Gene Silva.
even though he had
Thank you.
that point.
Thank you.
I like him.
But look, yes, he definitely deserves his top 5 spot because he should be ranked in the top 5 because he beat people that are ranked in the top 5. That's how it works. That being said, I can still say Gene Silva's better than him. That's what I'm saying.
Thank you.
I like Gene Silva, but right now, this moment, we
Still
can't
say
that.
Laurent Murphy
We
is
can't.
better. I named 5. Name 5.
Who wins in a fight right now, Gene Silva or Evloev?
Gene Silva.
Exactly.
I gotta think about that. I think Movsar can win that. I like Gene Silva.
Good.
I think he
No,
wins.
Movsar is ass, bruh.
He's not.
He is not good. He is
good.
not good.
Top 5.
He's not good.
He's top 5. His wins speak for themselves.
He's up there.
Who did he beat? Fucking Drew Dober, and he beat Charles Jourdain. Those are good wins, but
I don't care. I can still pick him. I could still
I
pick
like
him.
Gene Silva, but he's not better than Movsar.
Ilya Taforia beat Volkanovski after beating Josh Emmett, Bryce Mitchell, and all these other names.
Those are ranked wins. Those are ranked wins.
Yeah, but are they good enough to go against a Volkanovski who has beat almost every great
Jourdain
featherweight?
sucks, and Drew Dober is not.
After
he's
after
not
the
African-American,
fight, he
so
had
wouldn't beat him.
two fights with Makhachev. So yeah,
Rory had
I could-
ranked wins. Gene Silva does not have a ranked win. Laurent Murphy has more like potential ranked wins than Gene Silva.
but they're not.
You can still say skill for skill, though. Gene Silva's
I like
better.
Gene Silva. He's my favorite fighting nerd. I love Gene Silva, but I can't say that he's better than Movsar right now.
It's not. Name you 5 fighters that you think is better than Movsar or Evloev. It's 5 fighters that I think is better. You're just saying, oh no, you can't do that.
Who
You
beat
can't
Dan
do that.
Ige better, Laurent Murphy or Movsar Evloev?
Huh?
Who beat Dan Ige better, Laurent Murphy or Movsar Evloev?
Laurent Murphy. I don't know. I don't rewatch that fight. That was boring as fuck.
Alex knows the answer to that. That's fine. But yeah, that proves my point. I like Gene Silva. He's cool. But Laurent Murphy, I like him too. But no, Movsar Evloev's better. He has better wins. I have to go off wins. He has great wins. Great wins.
Wins don't mean nothing.
They mean everything. You're right. They don't mean nothing. They mean everything. Yeah.
They make fights.
Yeah,
They
styles
don't-
make
it-
fights. He's no one
Bro,
through 18 fights. No one's yet to
Somebody
find
can
out.
beat fucking. Somebody can beat fucking Islam Makhachev and lose to somebody shit later on. Somebody can do that. Look at the fucking Brazilian dude that beat Makhachev. You think he's out on a title run right now?
Yeah. Right.
Nick,
right. No, I hear what you're saying.
Nick,
Yeah, in that regard, yeah. Like fighters change over time for sure. But at
Just
this
'cause-
present moment,
because
no
you
one's
get
beating him.
good names don't mean like you're better than the person just by default. I think Gene Silva is better than him. I do think Laurent Murphy is better than him. That is my opinion. You told me name 5 fighters that I think is better, not 5 fighters that Tony thinks is better.
Okay,
Like,
that's fine. That's fine.
Themba Gorimbo versus Vicente Luque. You know, Themba's got good grappling. He's got good power. I don't think he's all that on the feet. All that being said, I really feel like he shoots in and gets subbed by Luque. I don't know. I could see it. I could see him getting darsed by Luque, and I think that might happen. I think Themba's chance at TKOing him if Luque is really cooked. But let's not pretend like Themba's all that. I think Luque's got a good chance at subbing him. And I think Themba's got a good chance at bitching Luque as well. But I'm not sure. I think I'm going to side with Luque subbing him. Okay. Actually, no. He's such a bitch. I think Themba's going to just start landing punches and Luque is going to quit. Like, he's going to get a takedown.
Yeah.
He'll quit, like Buckley, yeah.
This is
Some of them TK, probably in the second round, but I could really see Luque subbing him with a guillotine or a Darce. I'll leave that. I'm going to go second round TKO.
It's not a bad take on what Alex said. I could see a potential fraud check in the making by Themba, because Themba didn't really look that impressive against Nico Price. If you're not finishing Nico Price at this very moment, like, that's not a good look. While Phil Rowe's doing it and certain other people are doing it, it's not a good look. But I think he's going to finish Luque, though. Like, Luque is not the same ever since that brain hemorrhage or whatever it was that's going on with Luque. And he just hasn't taken punishment very well. You can tell that he looks very nervous and looks like he doesn't want to die in the ring or be the... Yeah. I'm going to go with Themba, TKO. Maybe even like a early stoppage first round, like the ref looks concerned.
Themba's got power. Themba's got wrestling upside. Vicente Luque, ever since the Jeff Neal fight, doesn't really want to get into scraps as much as he used to. He used to be a marauder in terms of the amount of damage he would sustain and deliver in absolute wars of fights. I think Themba's got the power advantage. I think he's got the wrestling upside. I think Luque's got the experience. He's fought clearly better competition. The main question is durability. I find it that the longer the fight goes, I would favor Luque. I think Themba needs to start early. I think he's got to set the idea of fear in Luque where he won't be able to kind of just like point fight at range. Because I do think the more technical striker is Luque. I just think the more raw power is on the Gorimbo side. I don't know what he looks like outside of round one in terms of danger. I think round one is his biggest round. He needs to start early. Longer it goes, it favors Luque. I'm torn. I think it can really go either way. It could be an early Gorimbo finish, or it could be a veteran point fighting strategy from Luque. But I'll go with Gorimbo, I guess, just because, you know, he's gonna hustle. He's a more hungrier fighter. He's got the power, got the wrestling. I think I'll go with a Themba Gorimbo round 2 ground and pound TKO, similar to how I picked Buckley round 2 TKO. I think I'll go with the round 2 Themba Gorimbo TKO.
Anthony Smith versus Dominick Reyes. On paper, Anthony Smith should win this. Not for real. Dominick Reyes is far more athletic, far more in his prime, way more knockout power, way faster. I don't think he has... I know. Reyes doesn't have a submission or loss on his record. I think that's really the only thing Anthony Smith does better than Reyes is get submissions, and I think he's just kind of shit. I think there's so many holes on Anthony Smith. I think everybody knows about the leg kicks. Everybody knows at some point he'll quit, and you can kind of tee up. So, and I think he resigns to losing, and the opponent knows that. So the more pressure they put on him, the more he cracks, you know. And I think if Reyes doesn't knock him out early, he's going to probably get shut out anyway, Anthony Smith. So I don't see really a method of victory for Anthony Smith, to be honest. Maybe he can chin Reyes. Reyes doesn't have a great chin, but I think he's got to really find, you know, his best form, and Reyes has to find a bad form in order for that to happen. It needs to be like the Reyes that fought Ryan Spann for that to happen, and it needs to be like the Anthony Smith that fought Crute. Something like that. I don't think that's going to be the case. Reyes is going to be just better. So I think I'm going to go Reyes, just like step back, left hand, knocking him out at some point. Probably in the first 2 rounds. chopping at his legs and just getting a TKO. Just beating his ass, dropping him after a cumulative amount of damage.
I'm going to go with Dominick Reyes. Go Dominick Reyes by KO, though.
Yeah, it's going to be a clean sweep. I'm a Dominick Reyes fan. I think he beat John Jones. I think a lot of people think he beat John Jones. He's on a losing streak. He snapped it. He was on a losing streak against really good fighters in Jan, Yuri, Ryan Span. His chin has, I guess, been his Achilles heel, really. He's never been subbed. Can't really recall ever a time where he got grapple fucked or wrestle fucked. He had a close fight with Volkov Demir. But, I like Dominick Reyes, Decent striking, good takedown defense, athletic. His chin has always been his biggest problem, but that's against fucking Yuri Prohaska in, 2022, I think. Maybe 2022. Yeah, 2022. And, that was, Yuri on the come-up.
It's 2021.
2021, yeah. Even more so, yeah. Fucking Jan just won the belt. He was in form. These are powerful guys for 205. Anthony Smith don't got that same pop in his shot. He's got a decent jab. That's about it. He was doing good against Glover early, but he faded. I think the longer the fight goes, where you would think he'd be a veteran and take over, I think Anthony Smith is not the best gas tank, not really powerful, decent sub threat, good jab, long kind of fighter. But I think Reyes is set up for him. I think he's gonna have a good fight here. The Jacoby win was good. I thought he was gonna wrestle more. For him to knock him out, that really impressed me. Because Jacoby is no slouch. I actually thought he beat Khalil Roundtree. He's a decent striker, good kickboxing background. I think he's definitely a better striker than fucking Anthony Smith. So yeah, Dominick Reyes first round KO. I think he's gonna look fucking fantastic.
Yeah, I hope so.
I think he's gonna look awesome. I think he's gonna absolutely beat the fuck out of Anthony Smith.
I hope he does. I really do.
Give me Dominick Reyes. I don't think Anthony Smith has a Petrino type of situation he can fucking take advantage of. I don't see him being able to impose his game plan on Reyes wherever it goes. I don't think, like Tony said, I don't think he'll be able to take him down. And the power from Reyes is still there, as we saw from his last fight. So yeah, Anthony Smith is at a downward trajectory at this point of his career. So yeah, even more of the reason to pick Reyes.
Is Nate the Train? Is Duo Choi? I think it's a close fight. I think this spells fight of the night, low-key. I think this could easily be a fight of the night. Duho Choi is a pretty good striker. He has come off a pretty big layoff and snapped his losing streak. Got a knockout over Bill Algeo. He's a pretty fairly highly ranked, unranked featherweight, if that makes sense. Landwehr, I think, has just got an extra dog to him, though, where he kind of thrives off these fights, where guys try to finish him and they can't do it, and then he finishes them. Then I feel like this is a fight where that happens, to be honest. I feel like Duho Choi does have a chance at sleeping Landwehr, but most of the time he doesn't really get slept. He just gets dropped and then gets back up. So I can see Duho Choi dropping him, but I think Landwehr is going to get back up and he's going to put a pace on him and probably TKO him. And I'm going to say late second round. Just puts on a pace, just kicks the leg, rips the body, goes to the head, uses the clinch, goes for takedowns, just drags down Duho Choi and gasses him out and fucking makes it a dirty fight in a dog fight. Duho Choi just won't be able to swim in those waters. I'm gonna go Landwehr, TKO, second round.
Nate the Train does pretty good in these type of firefights. I could see him getting knocked out. His chin is very suspect. Not suspect in a way, like certain others, but it is pretty bad. I could see him getting chinned on some weird shit, but I think he's gonna get dropped at some point, and then he's just gonna pad his way out and just go through a decision where he's just ground and pounding him and just wrestle fucking him. I think it's going to be a Colby Covington-esque type of performance. So I'm going to go with Nate the Train by 20-28 decision.
I got Landwehr as well. I think Duho's cooked at this point. I haven't seen much from him as of late, and he was never like that good to begin with. He was solid. But yeah, I think Landwehr's got a good style that a lot of Asian people can't really grapple like that. Their grappling's pretty mid over there, besides like a select few. And I think Landwehr will be able to out grapple him. Maybe Duo will prove me wrong though, but we'll see.
I like Nate the Train's personality. I think he's very marketable. I think he puts on fun fights. Got a great gas tank. The grappling upside, I say, would be with him in this fight. But I'm going to go the other direction. I'm going to go with the Korean Superboy Duho Choi. I think Landwehr's got a better gas tank. He's got a dog in him, and he's got the grappling upside. I don't think he's going to use the grappling. I think he's going to get into a firefight with Duho Choi. I think he's going to want to, show that he's got the striking to be able to put on an entertaining fight. And I think Duho Choi is the more accurate striker. I think he's got decent enough experience in the UFC despite the layoff that he already ascertained. It was like a long layoff. But he looked good in the Bill Aljo fight. Nate Landwehr, I do think there could be more danger on the feet compared to him to a Bill Algeo. But I'm going to go with the Korean Superboy in this one. I'm going to go with a... I could see him winning a decision. I could also see him getting a KO. So, I'm going to go with second round KO, Duho Choi.
Bryce Mitchell versus Kron Gracie. I'm picking Bryce Mitchell, but I have to be honest with you guys. The only way Kron Gracie wins is on the ground in a grappling jiu-jitsu match. Bryce Mitchell will grapple with him. So, there's a chance. I'm going to be honest. There's a chance. I think Kron Gracie's so inactive and so shit. I think he's better than he actually is. And I don't think he's ever really showed anything. He subbed Caceres, which is impressive. Caceres is a good grappler. So part of me is like a little bit worried. But because Bryce Mitchell will go to the grappling, he's not going to be like a Jourdain who's going to actively avoid it. He's going to go to it. So I think Mitchell's really good in the grappling. I think if he were to keep it striking, he wins. But yeah, I'm gonna go Bryce Mitchell. But I don't know. I'm not more than I think about it. I'm kind of afraid because he will grapple with Gracie. He will. So I want to look at how many people are picking Gracie. 5%.
Bryce Mitchell's minus 650.
Yeah. Bryce Mitchell's better, and I gotta be honest. There's a chance, bro. He's probably better at jiu-jitsu than Bryce Mitchell is. If this is the game Bryce Mitchell tries to play on him, it might end badly. Like, I think Bryce Mitchell, if he decides to stand in like trade, this is gonna be the easiest win of his fucking life. But something tells me he's low IQ enough to just walk into him every time he pulls guards and just be like, oh yeah, you're gonna Imanari roll at me, I'm gonna try to take the back from here, and then now you're on the ground with him. Fuck. I'm gonna just go Bryce Mitchell by decision. I'm gonna just say Gracie goes for the submissions and Bryce Mitchell's able to thwart him, and he somehow survives. And I think he can, and he can just avoid the submissions and stay on top. So. Yeah, you can't catch me dead picking fucking Kron Gracie. But it's an embarrassment that this is on the main card, and it's even a bigger embarrassment that Kron Gracie's getting a fucking ranked opponent after getting his ass beat by fucking Charles Jourdain. And he's got one of the most disgraceful styles, and he's been inactive for years. Before he lost to Jourdain, he lost to fucking Cub Swanson. Get him out of the UFC, number one, and number two, have him fight like Ryan Hall. That's the only fight I'd be interested in. And outside of that, at least fucking bottom of the rankings. Not Bryce Mitchell, number 11 in the world. Fuck that.
Would y'all want to live in a world where Bryce Mitchell just knocks this motherfucker out cold and stands at his dead corpse with a Bible up in the air, like an exorcist type of way, and just starts yelling at him in tongues?
Word.
Well, imagine it's that. Imagine if it's that type of performance. That would be so hilarious. But I do agree. It is probably going to be a boring fight. This fight should not have happened. But I'm really hoping, really hoping that Bryce Mitchell just flatlines him and does some like memeable shit. Just starts trying to pray with an unconscious Kron Gracie or some shit like that. Kron Gracie's just unconscious, and then this motherfucker.
Let me pray for you. Let me pray with you.
Yeah, I actually got Bryce Mitchell by TKO. He's minus 650. He's a big favorite. I don't think there's really any threat on the feet with Kron Gracie. Like Alex alluded to, I think his only chance in hell is really a submission. I think Bryce Mitchell can get a TKO from anywhere in this fight. On the feet, in the pocket, at range. Maybe not at range, but on the ground, I could see him getting a ground and pound TKO. I think this is a big bounce back fight for him coming off the Josh Emmett knockout of last December at 296. Now he's at 310. He's had time off. I think he's improved his striking in the off season, like training. Yeah, I just think this is there's a bounce back matchup made for him. Alex said it himself. Why the fuck is the number 11 featherweight in the world fighting Kron Gracie after the performance he just had? It's because this is a layup that's made for him to make a bank shot, and I think Bryce Mitchell is going to get that TKO. Just as Mike alluded to, he dropped Edson Barboza. Alex is also right, though. The takedown threat was definitely prevalent where he had to guard low and he was open high. Nonetheless, I just think Bryce Mitchell's he's not a small featherweight, and go rewatch the Ilia Topuria fight. There was a couple exchanges where he actually displayed head movement and decent body kicks and decent striking for what was expected. For what was expected to occur on the feet. I thought he actually fucking dodged Ilya's like left hook better than Volk did, truth be told. So I think he's just the better fighter in this. Bigger, better striker, more power. I think he can get a ground and pound TKO. Just be wary of the submission threat. I think where Bryce Mitchell displays a lot of jiu-jitsu in fights, he will display wrestling and striking in this fight. So I'm going to go with a TKO. I just don't know if it's going to be a standing one or a ground and pound one, but I got Bryce Mitchell by TKO. I'm going to go with second round. I'll go second round. I don't know. I'll go second round. Maybe the first round, what's his name? Fucking Kron Gracie throws up like a triangle or something, and he gets out of it, slams him, and then starts teeing off. So, but yeah, I got Bryce Mitchell by TKO. I think this is a bounce back for him.
Please, for the love of God, make that happen.
Alexandre Volkov versus Cyril Gane.
The rematch.
Volkov Gane. Originally, I had Volkov picked. I'm going to go with Gane now. Originally, this fight was scheduled on UFC 308 in Abu Dhabi, and Volkov pulled out for injury undisclosed. That could be anything from, my lower back hurts to a fucking shoulder injury. You know what I mean? I don't like that, really. And the fact that, he had to pull out of the card makes me feel like it wasn't that great of an injury. And, even though he had he's still happening this year, I don't like that. And that kind of makes me sway towards Gane a little bit. I feel like, he won the first time anyway. It is a close fight, and that just kind of makes me sway towards Gane. I feel like Gane is the faster striker. I think he's more powerful as well. I think, he looked really good against Pavlovich. Volkov did, but I don't think he's going to be able to look the same way against a guy like Gane. And I think Gane, for 3 rounds, he's going to up his output. I think he's going to put more out there. And I think this is going to be a pretty good heavyweight striking fight. I think this is going to be a pretty fun fight. And I think Gane, if he plays his cards right, could maybe even get a KO over Volkov. But I think I'm going to lean Gane. I think he is the cleaner striker slightly. I think Volkov just looked so good against Pavlovich. We're kind of slightly biased towards that, bias. So, but I do think Gane, with this recent injury, I am going to lean that direction. I'm going to go Cyril Gane by decision. 29-28. It's going to be a good fight.
You know what? Fuck it. I'm going to go with Volkov still. I think Volkov is going to do it. Cyril Gane, I think he's going to have a massive ego coming into this fight. He's going to have that Ronda Rousey type of thing where he acts and stuff just because he did a fucking French movie. I'm going to pick Volkov because I just don't feel like Gane's ego is going to be... I think his ego is going to be inflated after that whole I did a movie bullshit. And outly he's been saying Tom Aspinall's ducking him pretty much, even though we all know that's cap. I could see him getting out grappled because Volkov's grappling has gotten a lot better. But there is a chance that... I'm not going to say there is no shot that Gane is going to win, but I have a feeling Volkov's going to win. And the first Volkov fight was very close.
I like Volkov. He's on like a 3-fight win streak. He beat Tuivasa by sub. He beat Rosenstrike by KO. He beat Sergey Pavlovich by KO. Or no, a decision. He has looked good since the first time they fought. It was a good fight. I think Volkov won the first 2 rounds against Gane consecutively, and then Gane took over the last 3 rounds. I want to pick Volkov. I really do. I like him. I respect him. I enjoy watching him fight, but I'm going to go with Cyril Gane. Cyril Gane took a dive in the John Jones fight. That was absolute bullshit. He has no grappling, true, but that's pitiful what he did in the John Jones fight. I can never forgive him for that. That will always be burned in my memory for sure. As well as him sacrificing top position in the 5th round against Francis Ngannou for the undisputed title at UFC 270. I'll never forget those 2 instances in his career. That fucking riggery, but that's besides the point. This fight's mainly going to occur on the feet. I do want to see what Mike says come true. I would like to see Volkov mix in some grappling, but ultimately this just comes down to athleticism, and Cyril Gane is just a specimen among heavyweights. I think he was granted it was a hobbled Francis Ngannou with like no knees, but nonetheless that's still fucking Francis Ngannou. He is literally doing Wonder Boy like MVP bouncing like jabs right in Ngannou's face with no problem. I think Volkov is a more technical striker, boxing wise and kickboxing wise, than Ngannou, but there's more of a danger to respect with Ngannou, and Gane was not respecting that at all on the feet, so I don't really see him not necessarily disrespecting Volkov on the feet, but he could play his game. He could play the leg kicks. He could play the range game. He has good Muay Thai. He has good clinch. So I think I'll go with a Gane decision. Just him doing his signature point fighting. He'll look good. It'll be a close fight. It'll be close early, but Gane just having the athleticism advantage, the speed advantage, I think he'll do enough to win on the scorecards. I'm going to go with a Cyril Gane decision. Just like the first fight.
Give me Gane, bro.
Yeah.
Gane hasn't. Volkov hasn't shown me enough, like in these past fights, where like I'm convinced he beats Gane.
Mm-hmm.
I think despite Gane doing all this extra shit, he's still like one of the best strikers of that division, and it wasn't really necessarily close. I thought the Volkov and Gane first fight.
Volkov won the first 2 rounds, and then Gane won the last 3. That's how I had it.
Yeah, but watching it, I thought Gane was like clearly winning it though.
That's fair.
It was like
that's fair.
On the scorecards, it was close, but I thought it was like a clear winner.
That's fair. And Pavlovich, Tuivasa, Rosenstrike aren't the athlete that Cyril Gane is.
Yeah.
I want Volkov.
I think it'll just be a Gane outpointing fight.
Yeah. All right. Co-main event.
Main event.
Co-main event.
Yep. That's low-key tough. I was talking with Mike about this earlier. Ian Garry low-key can box up Shavkat. And let's not act like Shavkat's better on the feet than Ian Garry. From what we've seen, he's not. Alright, I know we don't like Ian Garry. But Shavkat does not move his head. Ian Garry has the boxing advantage. I believe he has the kicking advantage as well. I think Shavkat's advantage is lying in the grappling, the clinch, the knees, the elbows, stuff like that. If Ian Garry can defend the takedowns and keep this a kickboxing fight, I think he could beat Shavkat. If it is a kickboxing fight, Garry wins that, in my opinion. I think most people's opinion. But I think Shavkat is enough of a jack of all trades to make it the fight he wants it to be. And I think you got a horse meat eater versus a vegan, right? Like, you got a dog versus somebody who's the opposite of a dog. I think Shavkat can break Ian Garry. I think the closer he gets to him, the more he can kind of impose his will on Ian Garry. Ian is a good fighter, and I think if he wants to win, he needs to, make investments early, like half kicks, body shots, slow down Shavkat's assault, beat up his arms, head kicks, stuff like that. And if you're Shavkat, which I think he will do, I think he's going to be fighting in the clinch a lot. I think he's going to be pushing Garry into the clinch and going for these trip takedowns and just trying to wear him down, almost like a Colby Covington style of a fight, but with more clinch striking, knees to the body, elbows. And I think that's going to wear down Garry for the rest of the fight. That way, later we go into these rounds, Garry's defense slowly drops. So even if Garry is winning some of these rounds with his boxing and striking on the outside, I think Shavkat, as the fight goes on, he's going to get more takedowns. He'll be able to do more damage in the clinch. And I think it's going to probably be I'm thinking a late round submission by Shavkat, like a rear naked or a Darce or something like that. It's Garry hurt. Garry shoots a panic takedown into a Darce or a guillotine, and Shavkat gets him. But I'm going to go Shavkat by submission in the fourth round, just kind of wearing down Ian Garry, surviving the striking on the outside, because Ian Garry doesn't have too much that can really knock you out outside of a head kick. He does have good work, but I think Shavkat can avoid the majority of that. I think he just needs to avoid, certain power punchers like JDM who can land over and shit on him, like over his guard. I don't think Ian Garry's going to be able to do that necessarily. I think Shavkat's going to be able to walk him down in moments and just gas him out and get the victory later on with submission. So that's my pick. Shavkat Rakhmonov, submission, probably a guillotine in the fourth round. Or Darce.
I'm gonna go with Shavkat. I'm gonna agree with Alex what he said. We were talking about this earlier. Shavkat can get tagged, bruh, and it fucking riles me to say this too, because I hate Ian Garry with a passion. I could see it. I could definitely see him getting caught with some shit. But I think he's gonna. I don't know what's gonna happen. I know Shavkat's for sure gonna win, but I don't know what method I'm gonna go with. He could for sure knock him out. He could for sure submit him. This might fuck around and be his first decision. Who knows? But I'd pray and venture to say that this undefeated 100% finish rate streak continues to rattle on. Not having Ian Garry by knockout, though. Holy fuck, please don't. I do not need an Ian Garry title run coming up. I will fucking stop watching the sport at that point. I'm just going to end it off short and simple. Third round, Soy, TKO victory by Shavkat. And why I mean Soy, I don't think it's going to look like a Soy performance by Shavkat. I think Ian Garry's going to look good in the first few rounds, and then he's going to start getting tired because he's vegan and he's soy and he's a bitch. He's going to get knocked out, is what I'm trying to say.
Indeed.
Yeah. Fuck him.
Shavkat Rakhmonov is in my top 3 favorite fighters in the UFC actively. I think he's great. I think what separates him from most is that he's undefeated, but as well as being undefeated, he has a 100% finish rate. I think he takes pride in that. I think he knows that's what makes him such a great fighter in that regard, that he's never been defeated and he's won every fight via finish. I think he's going to keep that streak alive. I think Ian Garry is the better technical striker aesthetically and visually. I think his technique and his form and his boxing and his kicking is more cleaner looking than Shavkat's. But in terms of volume, strikes landed per minute, statistics and analytics in those departments, they're actually closer than you would think. I think Shavkat's got the advantage in the clinch. I think he's stronger than Ian Garry. As Alex alluded to, you have a vegan versus a man who eats horses. Shavkat's got a great chin. Good size for the division, 6'1", 77 reach. Ian Garry is not too small himself at welterweight, 6'3", but he has a 74-inch reach, I believe. I think he's got good technique in his striking. He's trained with Shavkat at Kill Cliff here in Florida. He's gone to multiple gyms where welterweights. He's scouted. Ian Garry, if there's one thing he is, it's not stupid. He is scouted around. He's seen Shavkat. He knows what he can do. But I don't think Ian Garry has the power to earn Shavkat's respect, and I don't think Ian Garry has the durability to go band for band with Shavkat. So for those reasons, I just envision, even if Ian Garry starts off good, I figure he will fade late. I also look at 3 fights in particular in Ian Garry's career where he was challenged in the striking. Jordan Williams, his debut, had him hurt very badly. I had Ian Garry in a parlay that night, and like he was minus 400, but he looked like he was about to fucking lose. The Song Kanan fight, he got dropped, and the MVP fight, he said in the build-up that he was faster than MVP, and he immediately went to grappling, like not even like a full round in the fight. He took a 1-2 from MVP and was like, fuck that, I am grappling. He will not have that luxury in this fight. Shavkat Rakhmonov is a better grappler than all 3 of those fighters. He is bigger, stronger, more durable, more dangerous. I'm going to go with a 4th round TKO in the clinch, where Ian Garry's zesty clinch will get absolutely brutalized by Shavkat's manly clinch. So, Kazakhstan will get their title shot, and Shavkat will keep that 100% finish streak alive. 4th round TKO. In a good fight. It's going to be a great fight. I think Ian Garry will do decent in the first 2 rounds, and then he'll just fade and slowly break. Yeah. Respect to Ian Garry. Outside the octagon shenanigans, respect to him for signing this fight. I just want to let you know, Kamaru Usman wanted to fight Khamzat Chimaev up a weight class on short days' notice. He don't want a fight with Shavkat. So for Kamaru Usman to not take that fight and take the Khamzat fight and not take this fight, that to me speaks volumes. So credit to Ian Garry for signing the contract and making Shavkat fight on this card. I applaud him. I applaud him.
I will not give any applause for Ian Garry. All I need to say is I hope he gets hit by concrete, and I hope he just eats shit and die.
Sink.
I think Ian Garry's gonna get the better of Shavkat a lot of moments on the feet, but I still think Ian Garry's he's not the most durable guy. Like, we've seen glimpses of it, so if Shavkat were to land something like how he did against Jeff Neal, I could see it hurting him just as much as it hurt Jeff, and then I could see him getting a sub from there. So yeah, I got a Shav, but I do think Ian Garry's gonna look real good.
I can see it.
Yeah.
Underrated aspect of Wonderboy's game is his takedown defense, and Shavkat, he had a little bit of adversity. You think if Ian Garry's over there training in all these different types of gyms, he'd develop some real good takedown defense, maybe even better than Wonderboy's. Well, I guess we'll see.
Main event time. Who do y'all got? Pantoja, Asakura. Alex, you could go first.
I still am not completely sold on Kai Asakura. Keep it a buck with you. I think he's probably potentially the best striker with the most power in the division, and I think he's got a good chance. But I don't think he has the grappling of a Steve Erceg to kind of thwart Pantoja while being the better striker. I think he'll be able to unload more on the feet, but I don't think he's the grappler that Erceg is. And I think Pantoja is going to be able to get him down. And even though he's a pretty tactical striker, there's been plenty of times where people start slugging and he just starts slugging with him, and he abandons technique and his range management and just starts slugging. Pantoja does that in the beginning of every fight. I think Kai Asakura is going to do that with Pantoja in the beginning of the first round. And I think they're going to start doing that, and Pantoja is just going to shoot a double leg right after him. And that'll be his first takedown. And I think it's just going to be kind of down from there. I don't even mind like a DQ win for Pantoja, like Kai Asakura knocking him out with a fucking illegal knee, something like that. So I do want Kai Asakura to win, but I think Pantoja has the grappling advantage, and I think the knees and the elbows, that is the way you got to beat Pantoja. You got to be able to knock him out. You got to have power. You got to be real dangerous. But he's cutting a lot of weight, I think, and he's the photos that we've seen, he's looked pretty fucking drained. So we'll be able to tell more, this fight week, how he looks. But as of right now, I think Pantoja's probably just going to win in Pantoja fashion, just get the takedowns where he needs them and win rounds where he needs to. And I think, Asakura will have his rounds. I'm sure he'll split open Pantoja or drop him or just, in general, outstrike him. But I think Pantoja's just got that championship experience. He's fought guys like Asakura. Has Asakura fought guys like Pantoja? I don't think. So I'm going to go Pantoja, decision, or late round submission.
Tony, what's your...
Yeah, I'm about to pass out. Sorry, my bad.
All right.
Not you, it's me. My bad.
I just wanted to wake your ass up.
Sorry.
Anyways, I'm gonna go with... No, you're good, bro. I get why you're tired. I'm just fucking with you.
You good?
I'm gonna go with Kai Asakura. I think the UFC really wants him to win. They're really going balls to the wall with the promotions and shit like that. It would be fucking hilarious. It would piss me off, but it would be fucking hilarious if he looks really good in the fight and he just illegally knees the motherfucker in the face and just gets a DQ loss. That would be hilarious. But I think motherfucker's just celebrating after he just potentially ruined the career of Alejandro Pantoja. I won the belt! Ding dong ya! I won the belt! And then this motherfucker just hears the disqualification loss to a potentially paralyzed Pantoja. Sorry. Now that would be terrible, but it would be funny if anybody has any sense of humor. That would be hilarious. But let's not have that happen. But I'll explain why. I just think man is very hittable. Pantoja hits pretty hard, and he'd be winning very stimmingly. But I think this is going to be the moment where Pantoja has matched on the autistic band for band strength, and I could see it being a war, and I could see Pantoja tiring out Pantoja and finishing him. Pantoja is, I don't know, it is a 50-50 fight. It's just very difficult. For now, I got Kai Asakura by TKO or decision. One of those two. I think it's going to be a close decision, mainly, and they're going to give it to Kai Asakura because they want to win the belt. I really do feel like they're trying to do that. They were trying to do it with Tyra. Tyra lost to Royval, unfortunately. Keep it short and simple. I'm going to go with Asakura by a split decision victory.
I gotta trust Pantoja in this one. Just don't know if Kai's grappling is like that for real. I've been picking Pantoja because of that very reason the past several fights. So I'm gonna go on a limb and say that he finds a way to get it done. May get rocked a couple times, but yeah, I got Pantoja finding a way to grit it out.
Good fight. I made money when Alexandre Pantoja won the belt. Made $1,000 that night off him and Drickus. So Pantoja, I do like him. He is bet on. He is reckless at times on the feet, but he does secure takedowns, and he is at this present moment the best grappler in the weight class. There is a submission threat. He's proven that he can go 5 rounds at a crazy pace. He is very durable. He's never been subbed, never been knocked out in 30-plus pro fights. Pantoja is just an absolute great fighter. But I cannot ignore the lengths to try to get rid of him. They legalized grounded knees to opponents. They legalized 12-6 elbows, and they're giving Kai Asakura in his UFC debut an undisputed title shot in his very first fight. These are things and red flags that I can't ignore. Not to mention, I do think Kai Asakura is a big flyweight. He has power. He's the more technical striker, and he is the bigger fighter, as well as being the younger fighter. He has experienced loss a lot of times in his career, more than Pantoja. Pantoja is definitely a more proven winner, having been the champion. But I just can't ignore all the things the UFC and the great lengths they're going to try to put Pantoja in a compromising position. The Royval fight, he was able to win because of his grappling. The Urseg fight, he was able to win because of his grappling. The Moreno fight, he was able to win because of his grappling. Logically, Moreno, Royval, Urseg on paper are better grapplers than Kai Asakura. Kai Asakura, I don't know why. I think he's going to display better takedown defense than all three of those guys in this fight for some reason. I think he's going to sprawl well. I think he's going to maintain range well. I think he'll have the power advantage. The question is he going to be able to dig deep enough where Pantoja has drowned people? Can he catch Pantoja in wild exchanges? I think he's willing to go ban for ban. I don't think he's a guy that's going to try to get backed up. Moreno, he's the better technical striker in the boxing than Asakura, but he is more willing to be on the back foot than Asakura. Royval, I reckon, probably is better technical, but I think there's a chance Asakura might have more power. They're both big flyweights. I think I'm going to go with... I could see him winning a decision. I could see him getting a knockout. The UFC wants him to win. So I'm going to go with the Kai Asakura... Let's go with the Kai Asakura round 3 TKO. Japan gets a champ. Let's go with that. Via... I think he'll catch Pantoja going for a takedown with a knee. I think he'll catch him with a knee. He'll time a knee off a takedown. And then he'll finish him off. I don't like that stat with the 35-plus-year-olds in world championship fights. I don't like that stat. I think Asakura is going to get the green flag on, fence grabs, cheap shots. Very controversial things will occur in the fight for Asakura. That's what I'm predicting. And it will lead to a potential knockout in the first time Pantoja's ever been knocked out in his career. And Asakura has a good following in Japan. His YouTube channel has a lot of subs. So I think they want to open that market. I think they definitely watch their fighters. They're huge with what's it called, Inoue. I don't know if he's Japanese, but they watch him. They packed house. So the Asian market, they need some fighters. They need some fighters.
It's true.
Logic doesn't always... Logically, Pantoja should grapple fuck him. But MMA isn't always a logical game. It's about styles and matchups, and I think Asakura's got the power, speed, size to sprawl some takedowns and keep it on the feet. I think he's more dangerous than Urseg. I think he's more willing than a Royval, and I think he's more powerful than a Moreno. Yeah.
Agreed.
So yeah, and I like Pantoja. He made me $1,000. I fuck with Pantoja, but every title run comes to an end eventually. So we'll see how it goes. Sink? Oh, you already went.
I already went.
Pantoja, yeah, my bad. Sorry. Yeah, you already picked Pantoja.
Yeah, we're 2 for 2 over here. Me and Tony picked Alex and Sink.
That's our 3-10 picks. Last pay-per-view of the year. Let's hope it ends with a bang.
Yeah. I just need Ian Gary's head on a canvas.